What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing and breaking down Season 7, Episode 1 of The Flash. But before we get started, make sure that you guys like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment down below any other video ideas for me. So the episode starts off with Chester quote-unquote waking Barry up because when Barry is asleep, he doesn't use his remaining speed whatsoever. So that's just a way to keep him from using as much speed as possible. Then right off the bat, we see a little bit of a battle between Eva and the Flash, while Barry only has 1% of his speed left, as we hear Chester say, and of course because of that, Barry loses the fight. So then this is where Eva actually goes ahead and kills Sam Scudder, aka Mirror Master, which we knew would happen about a few days ago, and that's how the top storyline starts in this episode. Then we see a couple scenes that were originally sneak peek scenes. We see Iris having dinner with quote-unquote Barry in the Mirrorverse, and the other scene where Joe, Cecile, and Barry talk about Eva and Barry building the artificial Speed Force and what they're going to do about Top. So then we see Nash and Chester working on the artificial Speed Force, and then we see something very, very interesting. We see Nash hallucinating multiple different types of Wells, whereas we only saw him hallucinate one at a time before in Season 6. We saw Harry, HR, Sherlock, and one other Wells that we've never seen. The Wells come up with a plan that Nash would have to die in order for Barry to get his speed back, and it would 100% work. Nash would become somewhat of a power source for the artificial Speed Force because of his organic receptor. That would be the thing that basically powers the artificial Speed Force. So this was the dangerous plan that the Season 7 Episode 1 synopsis was talking about that Nash was coming up with. So then we see a scene with Eva followed up with a scene of Cecile talking to Dylan. Then Top uses some interesting new abilities that we really haven't seen before that basically brought out the worst feelings that Cecile could imagine. Then Nash comes up with the plan for Allegra to use her powers to be the organic receptor, so then Barry can get his speed back and Nash wouldn't have to end up dying. So they tried doing that and it doesn't work. However, Barry gets hit with the energy from the experiment and something pretty funny ended up happening. All the different Wells somewhat possessed Barry and he started talking like Sherlock Wells. That was a really, really good scene. So then I realized that the Speed Force halo that we've been seeing around Barry's head in the past trailer wasn't actually Barry's speed thinking taking control like I thought it might be. It was Barry switching Wells' personalities. He switched from Sherlock to HR Wells when we saw the Speed Force halo, I should say, appear above his head. And by the way, the Speed Force halo wasn't actually the Speed Force, it was actually Nash's organic receptor cells. That's what originally went into Barry. Then we see Iris talking to all of the different versions of herself in the Mirrorverse. We saw this scene as a sneak peek earlier, so this one wasn't exactly a surprise to us. So Barry's brain was overloading with all the different versions of Wells in his brain, so the only thing keeping him alive at the moment was his speed healing. As we know, Barry only had 1% of his speed left at this moment, so if his speed healing wears off, he would die, as Gideon explained that to us in the episode. Then Allegra catches Nash lying about the organic receptor cells and all that stuff. So then Nash explains to Allegra that he himself is the organic receptor that could give Barry his speed back, but he would have to die in order for it to happen. Now this next scene explains why Barry has glasses in that promo photo, because he becomes Harry Wells because his brain waves are stuck in Barry's brain. This was really interesting. I thought he might end up being Reverse Flash. Obviously that's a very far leap, but it was actually very interesting to see how that all played out in the episode. Then we go back to Iris, who starts out by talking to her future self, but then she ends up talking to Eva, who constantly reminds her that she is stuck in the Mirrorverse, and obviously she will get out probably next episode, maybe the episode after that, but one of those two episodes. Then we actually see Cecile's powers evolve, and she ends up figuring out about the airplane that's about to crash over Central City, and they are reminded that the Flash doesn't have enough speed to stop it. Then Allegra used her powers to make all the Wells brainwaves from Barry go back into Wells himself, and Barry turned back into himself. Then Nash does what we all feared. He dies in order for Barry's speed to return, and then the artificial speed force becomes functional. Then we realize that that wasn't Thawne talking to Barry in the trailer like almost all of us had all assumed it would be. It was Harry and all the other Wells talking to Barry for their last time, and that was a really good and emotional scene. So then Barry runs around the speed lab as we saw in the trailer, and that's when he gets his speed back and how he connects to the artificial speed force. Then Barry uses his new speed to stop the airplane from crashing, and it was so cool to see this because it almost looked like new animations for Barry's speed and the Flash as a character. I thought it looked so cool. And then finally, at the end of the episode, we see that Eva is actually a copy of herself, as well as the copy of Iris and Captain Singh, so I guess the Mirrorverse was the real main villain the whole time, not Eva. But yeah, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your own thoughts on the episode itself, what you guys thought of it, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.